Now recording.
Okay, very good. Greetings, colleagues, students, and friends. A reminder, or maybe I don't need to do that. I think everyone's muted, right? And then you will be able to speak as you raise your hand. Let me begin by saying that we're all deeply saddened to have learned of the recent passing of adjunct instructor of English, Deborah Cantor. Deborah taught here for many years and was a valued member of the Hccc family. Her personality allowed her to build meaningful relationships with students and colleagues, and she will be greatly missed. We also mourn the continued and mounting violence against and killings of innocent members of Asian American communities throughout our nation. We pledge our unrelenting support for and solidarity with our Asian American students, colleagues, and community members. Please join me in a moment of silence for Deborah Cantor and her family, and for our Asian American friends, colleagues, students, family members, and communities across the nation. Thank you. On Friday, Dean of Libraries Jenny Pugh offered a moving presentation about longstanding and more recent injustices and violence directed at the many communities of Asian Americans throughout our nation. Jenny, thanks so much for your educational and inspirational remarks and for your touching personal reflections. It's really very nice to be together today. Just a reminder that in order to speak during today's meeting, please raise your hand with the hand raising notification and icon during the comments and questions portion of the meeting. We're all getting really good at this, aren't we? Alexa Rihanna will let us know who would like to speak, and then Willie Shirer will unmute speakers one at a time, and we thank Alexa and Willie. I have a number of things to share, a number of really positive things. So I'm going to go pretty quickly because we want to have lots of time for questions, but I think, and comments, but some things that I think you will want to know. First of all, as many of you are aware, but perhaps not everyone, we learned that 4 Hudson Community College students have been named semifinalists for the prestigious 2021 Jack Kent Cooke Foundation Undergraduate Transfer Scholarship. We congratulate Adam Alameen, Gerardo Leal, Pedro Moranchel, and Sofia Pazmino. Recipients will be named in August. Semifinalists and recipients are selected based on their exceptional academic ability and achievement, financial need, leadership, persistence, and service. And Jack Kent Cooke Scholarship recipients, as many of you know, receive financial support for the full cost of attendance at 4-year and graduate institutions, along with comprehensive educational advising, opportunities for internships, study abroad, graduate school funding, and access to a network of over 2,800 fellow Cooke scholars and alumni. Proudly, Hudson County Community College students were among just 50 national recipients of the scholarship in each of the past 2 years, Sarah Hayoun in 2019 and Abdullah Armar in 2020. And 9 HCCC students have been named semifinalists since 2019. We congratulate our students and we thank Phi Theta Kappa chapter advisor, Professor Ted Lai, for his exceptional support and mentorship of these and so many of our students. The National League for Innovation has been dedicated to informing, inspiring, and celebrating innovation in learning, teaching, staff development, and student success for over 50 years. Since 2012, the League has recognized outstanding faculty, staff, and leaders in community colleges who have made a significant difference in the lives of students and in the communities their colleges serve. These recognized colleagues are presented with League for Innovation Excellence Awards, and we congratulate HCCC 2020-21 League for Innovation Excellence Award honorees. Dr. Sirhan Abdullah, Assistant Professor and Coordinator of Health Services, Joseph Caniglia, Associate Professor of English, Theodore Lai, Professor of Mathematics, Dr. Jerry Lamb, Assistant Professor of Criminal Justice, Dr. Clive Lee, Instructor of Physics, Amala Ogburn, Coordinator of Academic Affairs at the North Hudson Campus, Natalia Vasquez-Bodkin, Head Tutor in Academic Support Services, Alana Winslow, Assistant Professor and Coordinator of Business, and Kyle Woolley, Head Tutor in Academic Support Services. Each honoree will receive a specially cast pewter medallion and an Excellence Award certificate. And we congratulate our honorees. Thank you, valued colleagues. Thank you for your excellence. I wish we were together and could applaud and do standing ovations today. We've been celebrating Women's History Month with many fine programs for students, faculty, staff, and the community, and many of you have participated in those. I thank all who have developed and participated in these outstanding programs, and a special thanks to Director of Cultural Affairs Michelle Vitale and Associate Director of Student Life and Leadership Angela Tuzzo, and many, many more. Honestly, the work you do, the programs you offer are just inspiring and so well done. Recently, speaking of Women's History Month, the New Jersey Council of County Colleges invited nominations of employees from all 18 community colleges for recognition as Women of Excellence on the NJCCC website. Congratulations and many thanks to HCCC Women of Excellence nominees. Jenny Babea, Associate Dean of English and ESL, Dr. Lori Bird, Assistant Director of the Nursing Program, Heather DeVries, Dean of Academic Affairs and Assessment, Lisa Doherty, Vice President for Student Affairs and Enrollment, Dr. Sheila Dinan, Associate Dean of the Center for Academic and Student Success, Veronica Gerasimo, Assistant Dean of Student Life and Leadership, Dr. Nadia Headley, Associate Professor of STEM, Dr. Patricia Jones-Lewis, Professor of English and Humanities, Lalisa Williams, Director of Faculty and Staff Development. Congratulations. Thank you for your excellence and for all that you do. At last week's meeting of the HCCC Board of Trustees, our fiscal year 2022 budget was approved. We're happy to share that this budget again includes no increase in tuition and fees for a second consecutive year. The budget also reflects our continued goal of avoiding employee layoffs during the time of the significant financial pressure. This is indeed a challenge in view of our 15% enrollment decline over the past year, but federal stimulus funding is helping us support students and the institution, while our enrollment hopefully begins to grow again and gradually reaches and even exceeds pre-pandemic enrollment levels over the next 1 to 2 years. Tomorrow, the HCCC Board of School Estimate will hold its annual meeting to review our FY22 budget request to the county. We have requested a 5.3% increase in operating support to help ensure the college's financial viability while freezing tuition and fees through next year. I thank Vice Presidents Veronica Zeitner and her team and Dr. Nicholas Chevroletti for their leadership and support of our proposal to the county. We'll report back to all of you after this meeting is held. Our Return to Campus Task Force continues its heroic work to lead, advise, and support our community and to plan for next summer, fall, and beyond. As you're aware, we began a gradual return to on-campus instruction and services last fall, offering approximately 10% of our courses on ground or in a hybrid format and employing comprehensive safety measures. We offered on-ground courses in subject areas that required in-person instruction in order for students to maintain academic progress. And as you know, these included culinary arts, nursing and health sciences, STEM labs, and others. Subsequent surveys of our students, faculty, and staff revealed positive on-ground experiences for most HCCC community members who participated on ground in spite of all the challenges. This spring, we therefore expanded on-ground instruction and services and are currently offering approximately 25% of instruction on ground. With progressive improvement in vaccination protection and an overall continuing trend of declining cases, we plan to offer approximately 40% of our courses on ground this summer and at least 60% next fall. Throughout the past year, we've not required any employees or students to be on campus if they felt uncomfortable or unable to do so, and we've not required documentation. And yet, and I think this is truly, truly inspirational and something we should all be so grateful for and proud of. We've been able to staff all on-ground instruction and operations, and our employees across the college have never worked harder as everyone has remained intensely focused on supporting our students and one another. I thank everyone for their extraordinary support of our Hudson family during the pandemic, and a very special thanks to the many and growing number of faculty, staff, and students who have been working on ground or are now working on ground. Based upon everything we know, and one thing we know for sure is throughout the pandemic, we have had to make educated guesses because there's never enough information to really know, to really inform decisions. So we make educated guesses and we remain flexible should we need to pivot. But based upon everything we know now, we're planning for a new normal of sorts next fall with a return to more traditional and robust on-ground activities while also continuing to grow our online and remote offerings. Remember, that's been an institutional priority since before the pandemic. We've learned a lot, and it will continue to actually help us reach more members of our community who require remote modalities. So that'll continue to grow while we now begin to resume full on-campus offerings. So we're planning to continue a gradually increasing return to campus over the summer and a full return in the fall. During the upcoming months, we will also continue to assess our academic technological needs, and we will offer a variety of training opportunities for all faculty and staff to increase their awareness and proficiency in the use of instructional technology. The fall semester is 5 months away, and we will continue to monitor changing circumstances very closely. If necessary, we will pivot back to more remote offerings, but at this time, we really don't expect that to happen. Through silver linings and lessons learned and everyone's continuing engagement, we expect a gradual return to full enrollment over the next year or so, and long-term incremental growth in on-ground, online, and remote instruction and services. Long-term, we do not see these as mutually exclusive. We believe we will be able to achieve incremental growth in all areas long-term. Last week, I sent our college community a message about our summer 4-day work week, which will begin on Monday, May 17th, with the first Friday off, scheduled for Friday, May 21st. The 5-day schedule will resume on Monday, August 16th, when all of us who normally teach and work on ground should plan to be fully back on ground for the fall semester. Anyone feeling they have extenuating circumstances should certainly speak with their supervisors. I'd now like to invite RTC Task Force co-chairs, Lisa Doherty and Heather DeVries, to offer an update on RTC activities. Lisa and Heather.
Thank you, Chris. I'm going to start off with some reflection and takeaways from the past year, and then Lisa is going to follow that with talking about looking ahead to summer and fall. So we wanted to start on a note of reflection and celebration for all of just the amazing work that has occurred over the past year from every member of the college community. Our actions, as a reminder, our actions have been guided by 2 overarching principles throughout the past year. First, ensuring the health and safety of all of our students, faculty, staff, and community members. And second, providing students with a high quality and student-centered education where they will be able to progress towards their degrees. We continue to be extremely proud of our community and everyone's adherence to the protocols we have set in place over the past year. We do continue to monitor the CDC for additional guidance as it becomes available, but we are happy to report that our protocols have been effective and wanted to highlight a few just to put them back on people's radar, especially as, again, some of us live and breathe these protocols and these guidelines and the restart plan, but just to make sure everyone is aware that we are really a leader among our peer institutions in tackling a lot of these questions very early on. Lisa and I sit on NJCC calls with some of our peer institutions, and some are raising questions that we answered nearly a year ago. So that's something to really be proud of. We have mandated, in compliance with an executive order, but even before that, we mandated that masks be worn by all students, faculty, staff, and visitors in all HCCC buildings, including classrooms. We made masks available to those who did not have them. And shockingly, I think our initial order of masks was 5,000 or 10,000. And I remember the shock saying, oh, we're never going to go through these. We are down to, I think, a mere 700, 500 even, and have had to reorder. So that's exciting news. We have worked with Maverick, our cleaning company, and thanks to Ilya Ashmayan and Julio Maldonado for their leadership in this area, to increase the frequency of professional cleaning and sanitization services for classrooms and other spaces on campus. We have installed air purification units in all of the buildings, comprising our Journal Square and North Hudson campuses, and installed specialized M11 filters in all spaces where teaching, learning, and working occurs. Many spaces also have portable air filters, so many spaces have 3 levels of protection, which is really, really stellar. And then the last protocol I'll highlight is our 2-step screening process, the questionnaire prior to campus or upon arriving at campus, and then the thermal mirrors at the entrance to each building. That has really provided this extra layer too of confidence among our college community. And we, of course, none of this would have been possible without our health and safety experts. Lisa and I just can't express enough gratitude to the following individuals in particular, but it's really been a team effort throughout. So special thanks to Associate Dean Catherine Sarangelo, Dr. Sirhan Abdullah, Carol Fasano, and Kathy Smith-Wenning, and Warren Rigby, and again, so many others for their expertise and just continued engagement and continually being on board and ready and able and willing to answer our questions and provide guidance as needed. We are very grateful to them. Throughout the past year, we have really come together as a community, and as we're starting to really intentionally Oops.
Are you there, Heather?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Sorry, I lost the visual on my screen.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, as we've started some intentional reflection, we've really started to find some silver linings and some really key takeaways that we want to keep with us as we move into summer and into the next academic year. Some of this has happened in pockets across the college. I know the Student Affairs and Enrollment team during their retreat a few weeks ago took a deep dive into some of these questions. The visit from our Achieving the Dream coaches, Dr. Feifeld and Dr. Garcia, provided an opportunity as well for some intentional reflection from a cross-section of our college community. And we're finding really similar themes throughout each of these reflection sessions. But the amount of cooperation and across departments and across the college has been remarkable, as has the genuine concern for students. There's been a palpable rededication or enhanced or increased dedication of faculties and staff to student success. We found increased attendance at various events, from everything from office hours to admission and recruitment information sessions to programming offered by the library or Michelle Vitale's area. We have found one of our faculty members offered that, it's about engaging, that they've had an enhanced sense of professional community throughout the past year as they and their peers work together to find ways to engage students through different media and websites, holding workshops and kind of recreating to the best of their ability those informal conversations that used to happen in elevators, stairwells, hallways, outside office doors. People have found that the virtual environment has involved for kind of a more candid exchange between students and faculty, and really using the students' lived experience as positive points of connection, really building that sense of belonging. And really, throughout the past year, we found that we've been able to remove a lot of barriers for our students. Everything from students no longer having to come to campus to take care of business processes or attend office hours, to being able to meet the needs of student parents, for example, with remote classes. We've been able to scale our technology capacity. Thank you to Tricia Clay and her team. And really, there's just been stellar engagement from students, faculty, staff, community members. across the board, particularly in our DEI efforts. Shout out to Yuris Pujols and Lalisa Williams for their leadership in that area. We also want to talk a little bit about today, kind of where we are now. If we've been reflecting to this point, kind of where we are at this point in time, and our partnership with the North Hudson Community Action Corporation for vaccines for HCCC full-time and part-time students, faculty, staff, and trustees, and offer some kind of review the process and offer some reminders. So as of Monday, March 8th, a few weeks ago, full-time and part-time HCCC students, faculty, and staff, and trustees were able to make appointments to receive the vaccine at the North Hudson campus through this partnership. And again, we just want to provide some brief updates. The HCCC community is allotted 50 vaccine appointments per week, 10 per day, and we can only book 1 week at a time. To date, we have booked the first 150 appointments through this coming Friday, March 26th, and we'll continue to book those on the wait list as more appointments open up. If you have requested an appointment via the form on the portal, please rest assured that we have received your request and will be scheduling you for an appointment on a first-come, first-served basis. And please, if you have a question about your request or your appointment, please email the Return to Campus Task Force at return@hccc.edu. We are happy to talk with you. We are happy to answer questions. Please do not reach out to North Hudson Community Action Corporation, since the college is really facilitating this appointment process. And at this time, we are unable to schedule friends and family members of HCCC, faculty, staff, and students, and trustees through the HCCC portal. Appointments are available to individuals who are eligible to receive the vaccine in adherence with state guidelines. To make an appointment, eligible individuals should complete the form on the portal. I believe we recirculated the link most recently late last week. If you search your inboxes for an email from return@hccc.edu. You'll need your Hudson email and log on to access the form. And then that form is routed to a designated liaison who will review the request and schedule your appointment or put you kind of on the wait list as more appointments open up. Appointments are scheduled on a first-come, first-served basis, and we will try to accommodate scheduling preferences to the extent possible. And then the North Hudson Community Action Corporation will schedule your appointment for the second dose of the vaccine at your appointment for the first dose. So there's no need to resubmit the form after your first dose. That will all be taken care of. Finally, approaching next week is spring break. If you do plan to travel outside of New Jersey for spring break, please be aware of the New Jersey travel advisory list and quarantine requirements when you return. Please use your best judgment when planning travel based on your educational and employment situation, and share your plans with professors and supervisors. In many cases, you may need to quarantine for 14 days when you return. So that's all I have is, reflecting on the past year and bringing us to this point. I will now turn it over to Lisa for summer and fall.
Thank you, Heather. So again, thank you everyone for your cooperation and assistance in the last year in keeping our college community safe and following all of our protocols. Looking forward to the summer and fall. As Chris mentioned, we are going to be gradually ramping up our on-campus offerings and services. The schedule for summer and fall is now posted on the website. It's public, and registration will begin the last day of this month and the first day of April. So students can begin to schedule their classes for both summer 1, summer 2, and the fall. Over the summer, we will be making all sorts of investments, both financially and time-wise, in preparations and classroom technology, training, retraining. For some of us who have been on the ground since August, it's sometimes just second nature. Of course, we have 3 layers of protection in the air. So we want to make sure that everyone is reminded throughout the summer of all of our protections. As Chris said, the gradual return will happen over the summer, with the full return August 16th, and any specific scenarios or situations, you should definitely speak with your supervisor. The health and safety group, our heroic health and safety group, will be scheduling vaccination fact and fiction sessions in the coming weeks. We had a wonderful session with them at our student affairs training a couple of Fridays ago. It by far was the highest rated session of our day. And it really helped to alleviate some fears, some myths, some misunderstandings about the vaccine. Also wanted to make sure everyone knows that the campus, if you wish to work on campus right now, even in a limited capacity, you can do that. So work with your supervisor on a schedule, make sure your office is prepared with any equipment or any preparation that needs to be done. In the summer and fall, we are planning based on our current protocols, but also staying fully aware of any changes in protocols, which of course we will abide to. We will over the summer be doing walkthroughs of areas, ordering additional webcams, plexiglass, rearranging furniture as needed, depending on what the protocols are for the return. If you want to schedule a walkthrough of your area, please do contact Ilya Ashman for that. We will be sending new screening instructions very soon. We will be doing away with the paper surveys. So by the end of this semester, if not sooner, there will be no more paper surveys. It will be through a QA check on your phone, which links directly to the thermal mirror. So be on the lookout for an email from the Return to Campus Task Force with the instructions. Very simple, but it will take you some getting used to. So no more paper. No more pens. It's all electronic and hooked up to the thermal mirror. So that is coming very, very soon. As always, as we have been from the very beginning, all best laid plans, right? We are prepared to pivot at any moment if we need to. And I think what this community has proven is that we can turn on a dime if needed. Hopefully we will not need to react as quickly as we did last March. It was actually a year ago exactly yesterday that the governor issued the executive order that said no more services, nothing on campus, which is so hard to believe. We've been through this for a year. So we are prepared to pivot. We do feel it's much easier to pivot from campus to remote than from remote to campus. So I encourage you, if you have not been on campus, to work with your supervisor on a reentry plan or gradual return, because it is an adjustment for everyone, getting used to the masks and the protocols and social distancing. So that is my advice. And if you have any questions, of course, please email return@hccc.edu. We will either answer your question or put you in touch with our health and safety experts or someone else who can help. So thank you for indulging us on this update of the reflection of the past year, and then looking forward to the fall.
Thank you so much, Lisa and Heather. You know, I don't know how to put into words. In fact, I can't. Speaking for all of our community members, our deepest gratitude for your just unrelenting, strong leadership. And I know how hard both of you work. And thank you. We would not be where we are without you two and so many others. I know there may be lots of questions, and we're going to answer those. We want to provide opportunity for everyone, but please stay with me. Let's finish, and then we'll open it to questions. So moving on. Again, I want to also thank all who've worked and continue to work so hard on the task force and beyond to support our students and one another at this time of, unprecedented challenge. Last week, our Achieving the Dream coaches, Dr. Mary Fifield and Dr. Renee Garcia, met with hundreds of students, faculty, and staff to review and discuss the phenomenal work across the college to support our students' retention, completion, and success, and specifically to achieve the goals of our Student Success Action Plan. In the coming weeks, we will receive a detailed report of our coaches' observations and recommendations, which we will, of course, share with everyone. I thank all of you who are engaged in this work, and it's a lot of people, and all who participated in meetings with Renee and Mary. And I especially want to thank Dream Team co-chairs, Dr. Sheila Dinan and Heather DeVries, for their exemplary leadership of the coaches' virtual visit and all the activities of our Dream Team, HAL teams, and beyond. And Sheila is on a well-deserved vacation this week. I hope her ears are burning. But Heather's with us. And Heather, you're back on, if you don't mind. Would you please offer an update on the powerful work of the ATD Dream Team?
I'd be happy to. And I guess a fun fact too, as we kind of are reflecting, Mary and Renee reminded us during their visit last week that the very last time I think either of them were on a plane even, and these are people who travel extensively, was when they departed Jersey City from the March 2019 visit. We were their last last on-ground visit, and we are all hoping, as we approach a new normal in late summer, early fall, when we will see them next, that we can be their first on-ground visit, kind of post-pandemic. So fingers crossed. But our second year of engagement with ATD is kind of winding down, and piggybacking on Mary and Renee's visit from last week, I wanted to put our 2 student success overarching priorities, those priorities that are really guiding all of our work, back front and center, and then really celebrate the work to date of all of our amazing How teams. We have 8 in total, and they're just doing remarkable work. And I know many of you are engaged. It's really beautiful to see that we have probably more than 100 individuals from across the college engaged in this work, and we certainly welcome more. So if something piques your interest today, or you just want to get involved, please don't hesitate to reach out to me or to Sheila, and we will find a way to get you involved. So I'll start with our first priority, which is increasing fall-to-fall persistence for first-time full-time students. And again, our IPEDS metrics are calculated off of this first-time full-time cohort. From 58% to 64% by June 2024. So very tangible goal there. Our first How Team 1.1, Priority 1, Strategy 1, which is co-led by Jenny Bobea and Alexa Riano, and is focused on ESL, has developed in conjunction with the ESL faculty, has developed an ESL Proficiency Certificate that came to curriculum instruction last week and is now going through the final stages of internal approval, and we hope to have launched in time for fall 2021. This proficiency certificate is comprised of 15 college credits and nests into the AA Liberal Arts General, should students want to continue towards their associate beyond the proficiency certificate. This will be a fantastic asset to our program inventory, and we're very excited about the certificate's development. How Team 1.2A, so Priority 1, Strategy 2. Academic Foundations English, co-led by Laura Noguera and Robin Singer. They have been exploring the Academic Foundations English and English 101 exit processes, and really engaging their How teams, particularly the faculty members on their How teams, in kind of alternate models of assessment of student learning. And in particular, they've been taking a really close look at the AccuPlacer reading test and its kind of efficacy or viability as part of the Academic Foundations English exit process. 1.2b, Academic Foundations Mathematics, co-led by Laura Samuelson and Kyle Woolley. They are designing workshops around best practices in grading and kind of standardization of grading for delivery later this semester. This brings me to Priority 2, which is creating a culture of care that supports all students, not just that first-time full-time cohort that sometimes receives a disproportionate amount of attention in terms of reporting, but we are dedicated to supporting all of our students and helping them persist. So we're looking to move that metric the needle on that metric from 61% to 67% again by June 2024. So our first strategy, our first How Team under Priority 2 is our Student Leader How Team, which is really just such a group effort, but co-led by Coral Booth and Abu Traore. And they are examining the relationship between student involvement in the life of the college and student persistence. Throughout the past few months, they've been collecting testimonials that support the idea that students who are involved in the life of the college are more likely to be retained and persist through their Hudson is Home project. But next, they're really turning their attention to gathering testimonials from students who may not feel that Hudson is home, exploring why, and then developing kind of actionable interventions in response. So they've just done amazing work, and we're hoping to get those. They previewed some of their testimonials for Mary and Renee last week. We are hoping to get that out to the broader college community in the coming weeks. How Team 2.2, Remove Barriers, which is co-led by Dr. Pam Bandiopatier and Victoria Marino, have been creating surveys to gather information about the students and faculty members' experiences in taking and teaching CSS 100 to inform any future recommendations around reimagining CSS 100. And here we'd like to give a special shout out to Dr. David Clark for his key collaboration on this. And this How Team is also very importantly, taking a look at equity in terms of how we schedule courses and whether a student can complete program X if they can only attend in the evening or part-time. So we're looking forward very much to kind of their findings there. How Team 2.3, Priority 2, Strategy 3, Hudson Helps, Dr. David Clark and Dr. Ara Karakashian. Shared just the most interesting fact. I mean, so much good work is happening here, but we really wanted to spotlight that to date, 4,000 meals have been prepared and distributed by culinary club members and chefs through HCCC's food pantries and other venues. And that's just amazing.
Yeah.
Congratulations. How Team 2.4, Academic Supports, co-led by Joseph Caniglia and Jackie Savant, are getting the next cohort or the next iteration of the Student Success Academy up and running, and are exploring other ways to leverage the effectiveness of this model, which is similar to the CUNY ASAP or the EOF model in its provision of wraparound academic supports and advisement, either to keep students on track or get students back on track. So that's very, very important work. And then the newest TAU team on the block, 2.5, the initiative around pre-nursing, which Sheila and I have kind of taken the reins on, but would not be possible without just a whole wealth of other people, particularly Associate Dean of Nursing and Health Sciences, Catherine Sarangelo, and her team. We had our first meeting about a week ago, and we are still in the early stages of our work, but we're beginning with examining curricular pathways for students whose ultimate goal is to gain admissions to HCCC's nursing program. So there's more to come here. And again, on behalf of Sheila, we can't express our gratitude deeply, our deep, deep gratitude enough to everyone who has taken on this work and conducted it with such passion and such energy and enthusiasm. We are deeply grateful. So that's all I have to report. Chris, I will turn it back to you.
Phenomenal, phenomenal. Thank you, Heather. And again, our sincere thanks to all who are involved on the Dream Team, HAL teams, and in student success work throughout the college. It's really beginning to make a difference. More than 20 students, faculty, and staff attended the National Conference of Phi Theta Kappa last week. At the virtual conference, attended by thousands across the United States and beyond, many of our students and our chapter were recognized for their academic excellence and their service. We congratulate our students, our chapter, and chapter advisor Ted Lai. The screening committee for our new Vice President for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion position has reviewed 9 applications from faculty and staff, as this is an internal search, and we sincerely thank all who've applied. They bring many strengths and a deep commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion in all of its forms. The committee has recommended 4 of our colleagues to participate in semifinalist interviews with the committee, and I've approved those recommendations. And following the semifinalist interviews that will occur next week, the committee will recommend finalists for full-day campus interviews, and we will encourage everyone's participation in these interviews. This is an extremely important step forward in our college-wide commitment to continuous improvement in all areas of diversity, equity, and inclusion, including our unwavering support for all of the diverse communities in HCCC's family. I thank Screening Committee Chair Dr. Darrell Jones and all members of the committee for their dedicated work. And those committee members are Eric Adamson, Felicia Allen, Angel Beebe, Dr. Lori Bird, Reverend Bolivar Flores, Dr. Darrell Jones, Anna Krupitsky, Nancy Lazik, Jose Lowe, Maria Mezquita, Jackie Safant, Michelle Vitale, Alana Winslow, and Dr. Burl Yearwood. I'd like now to invite PAC Day co-chairs, Lalisa Williams and Eurus Pujols, to offer remarks and an update on the inspirational work of PAC Day.
Okay, thank you, and good afternoon, Dr. Reaver, and thank you for your opportunity to share today. I will provide a brief update first, and Eurus will speak after. First, Eurus and I have a meeting this week to update our action plan. Once that action plan has been updated, at that point, we hope to start sharing it with others for additional input. A small group of PAC Day is also working on updating the portal page and developing other platforms to share information with the entire college community and those outside of the college as well. Goal 1, which focuses on programming, training, and infrastructure, are doing a great job in this area, and so kudos to those individuals working. there. We also want to thank Lisa Dougherty and Omar Williams for helping us out with our Pack Day external website. We are so excited about that. We are excited that we are able to share all of this information with the public, the wonderful work that everyone around the college is doing as it relates to diversity, equity, and inclusion. Some highlights from what some of the members of Pack Day is doing, and others as well, in collaboration with many of the Pack Day members. I just want to let you know that Dr. Paula Roberson is also working closely with the Bayard Rustin Center for Social Justice. And they will be providing 2 workshops for the college, one on April the 23rd and one on April the 30th. So more information and a flyer will go out about that if it hasn't gone out already. Check your email. Also, our overarching goal number 1, they are also working on more, they're working on additional workshops as it relates to you and healthcare. So if you remember, they did something probably in the past couple of months or less, or maybe toward the end of last semester, but that involves Dr. David Clark, Sharon Daughtry, and Kathy Smith Winnings, and many others that are working with them. So we're all excited about that, and this new workshop should be coming out soon. The Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Student Passport Program, DEISPP, is going strong. And please keep in mind that this is an ongoing program. As you know, this is the leadership and DEI development program that is developed specifically for our students. The program involves specific trainings, activities around diversity, equity, and inclusion, and other topics, and goes on, and it goes the entire semester. We also want to recognize our colleague Jenny Pooh, and Pack Day member and other Pack Day members who helped organize a presentation that brought awareness against hate and violence against the Asian population. We are all in support of and very proud to have spaces where these conversations and topics can be discussed openly. That's all I have on my end. Yours will now provide additional updates. Yours, take it away.
Thank you, partner, and thank you, Dr. River. Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I would like to start by acknowledging Professor Katie Sweeting, who was featured last week for our Stories Untold speaker series. He provided a wonderful engagement of almost 60 individuals, excuse me, who were able to attend. We also want to thank Anna Kapritsky and her HR team for their hard work in making this collaboration possible. We also wanted to highlight Pastor Sweeting, Katie's husband, who was also in attendance, and he was instrumental in being able to tell her story. It was a wonderful hour full of engagement, and just want to remind everyone that more stories are coming. Be on the lookout. We have 2 more exciting stories coming down the pipes over the next, before the semester wraps up. We also want to take this time to thank Jose Lowe for leading the last session that we held for the barbershop, our male discussion for men. It dealt specifically with male scholars and some of the challenges that they faced. EOF students were invited and encouraged to attend, so we had a significant number of students that made the attendance of the meeting pretty high, pretty nice, and we welcome the engagement of all the students that are on the call. We just wanted to invite you to participate. Be on the lookout for the invitation. Let us know, and we're happy to have you there. Like, you certainly bring a lot of value to the discussion. Also, I want to encourage everyone to keep an eye out for the open discussion. Want to talk about it. As you know, the sessions are now themed, and I know that Amala is doing all she can to make sure that the topics are timely and relevant. The next session is actually scheduled for tomorrow, 1 p.m., and the topic is around hate, violence, and racism against our Asian community. You received an email with this information earlier today about want to talk about it, but the second link also has additional resources and information that Jenny mentioned, the promise of because some people were asking, what else can I do? Where can I get more information? So there are multiple resources available there that that you could check out. We're also happy to share, as Heather mentioned previously, that Drs. Fifield and Garcia from Achieving the Dream, they also attended our last Pack Day meeting that took place last week. And essentially they were the big show. They were the main entertainment, and we had a lively, engaging conversation. We're always happy to hear about their perspectives, their experiences that are there, because they have exposure to so many different campuses and different communities. So it was great. We were happy to share some of the work that we were doing here, and we're excited to hear back on that report that Dr. River mentioned that will be forthcoming soon. And finally, we're really, really excited to share this with everyone. Next month, Dr. Aaron Fichtner is the president of the New Jersey County Community College. He will be similar as the ATD coaches were this time around. He will be the main attraction for an Expac Day meeting. We're really eager to hear about the work that the council is doing out there on behalf of community colleges, and also to share some of the work that we're doing here at Hudson. That is all that we have for now. And, again, we just want to remind everyone that whenever we talk about stuff that we are doing, we're not talking about Elisa and I, we're not talking about PACTE members, we're talking about everyone. That if we named everyone behind all of these programs, that would probably be the whole update. But thank you all for everything you're doing. And, we all look forward to seeing you all back in person soon, hopefully. Dr. River, that's all we have for now. And thank you for the opportunity to speak.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for your remarks and for your leadership, Iris and Lalisa. We are so grateful. As we're all aware, our growing Hudson Helps program is at the center of our student success and DEI work. And I thank Associate Dean of Student Affairs, Dr. David Clark, and everyone involved in this multifaceted umbrella of supports that are having life-changing impacts on so many members of our HCCC family. I'm honored to share, and this is kind of hot off the press, that the Hudson County Board of Commissioners has drafted a resolution that will be acted upon shortly to, quote, recognize and commend Hudson County Community College for creating a stigma-free environment and promoting mental health awareness on our HCCC campuses. I'm going to read the resolution. It's a tad long, but I think you need to, I want to make sure everybody hears it. It reads this way. Whereas the National Institute of Mental Health reports that the number of adults with any diagnosable mental disorder within the past year is nearly 1 in 5, or roughly 43 million Americans. And whereas 1 in 5 children aged 13 to 18 have or will have a mental illness. Suicide is the second leading cause of death for youth and young adults ages 10 to 24. Every day in the United States, over 5,240 students in grades 7 through 12 attempt suicide, and 4 out of 5 have given clear warning signs. And whereas the stigma associated with the disease of mental illness is identified as the primary reason individuals fail to seek the help they need to recover from the disease. And whereas when severe mental health illness goes untreated or undertreated, it can lead to alcohol or substance abuse, dropping out of school, unemployment, homelessness, or suicide. And whereas raising awareness of mental illness is an effective way to reduce the stigma associated with the disease, and it encourages those who are affected to seek services and support. And whereas Hudson County Community College has created a stigma-free task force and has begun multiple trainings, workshops, initiatives aimed at raising awareness on the importance of mental health initiatives and promoting an atmosphere of support and acceptance for students, and is committed to declaring their 3 campuses as stigma-free zones, supporting efforts for mental health awareness. And whereas Hudson County Community College has been actively engaged in creating public interest and open dialogue about stigmas, raising awareness of the disease of mental illness, and creating a culture wherein residents who have the disease of mental illness feel supported by the community and feel free to seek treatment for the disease without fear of a stigma. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Board of Commissioners of the County of Hudson that the county hereby recommends Hudson County Community College, commends Hudson County Community College for creating a stigma-free environment and promoting mental health awareness on their college campuses, and then it goes through various technical follow-up items. Wow. I want to thank all members of our care team and so many others for their great work to help remove stigmas and support our HCCC family members in every area of need. I particularly want to recognize and thank Associate Director of Wellness and Counseling, Doreen Pontius, who's in a lot of ways been a real silent hero working assiduously on supporting our community. I also want to thank Associate Dean of Student Success, Dr. Sheila Dinan, and their colleagues for their stellar support of our HCCC family in the area of mental health and beyond. Our comprehensive redesign of the HCCC website, which has been underway for the past 2 years, is nearly completed. The new site will be updated with state-of-the-art technology, images and graphics, and a focus on student and other testimonials. And we hope to officially launch the new site on or around May 1st. Like everything that we do, this project has truly taken a village. We thank everyone who has participated in the website transformation that will soon be available for all to see. I want to particularly thank Director of Communications, Jen Christopher, Vice President for Student Affairs and Enrollment, Lisa Doherty, and Manager of Web and Portal Services, Omar Williams, for their exemplary leadership of this very significant, and I might add, very complex project. And I know Omar is at home. He's like working morning, noon, and night to get this site up and running, and we are so grateful. I'm pleased to share that the Hudson County Community College Foundation is again sponsoring HCCC faculty and staff attendance at this year's National Institute for Staff and Organizational Development, or NISOD, International Conference on Teaching and Leadership Excellence. This year, we've been able to register as an institution, meaning all HCCC employees, will be able to attend this excellent virtual conference, which will be held April 28th through 30th, and more information will be forthcoming. We thank Vice President for External Affairs, Dr. Nicholas Chevroletti, External Affairs, I hope I said, Vice President for Academic Affairs, Dr. Darrell Jones, and Director of Faculty and Staff Development, Elisa Williams, for facilitating college-wide employee participation in this powerful annual professional development activity. And finally, a reminder that HCCC is participating in this year's Great Colleges to Work For program. This is a national survey designed to recognize institutions that have built great workplaces thanks to the commitment, dedication, and caring of great people. If you've not already done so, we hope you'll complete the survey and help demonstrate what a great college HCCC is. The survey request should have come to you directly from Great Colleges to Work For, and I thank Vice President for Human Resources, Anna Krapitsky, for coordinating our participation in this national survey this year. Sorry for the length of that, but I think you'll agree with me. There's a lot of important information and cause for celebration that we just covered very quickly. Now we will open the meeting to questions, comments, and celebrations. Please raise your hand and Alexa will call on you when it's your turn to speak, and Willie will unmute you. Thank you so much again, Alexa and Willie. We open it to your questions and comments. Questions and comments.
Veronica? Gerasimo?
Hi, Veronica.
Hi, you all can hear me, right?
Yes.
Good. As usual, you know, about to come with a really long update from Student Life and Leadership, but adding to the amazing things that we continue to do at this college. I am echoing Dr. Reber's shout out for Women's History Month programming. All of our commemorative month programming really is a campus-wide effort, and always looking to continue to grow, looking to continue to build those partners in different areas and spotlight different programs and really make programs a reality. So as we enter into April, where Hudson, we celebrate our HCCC Pride Month, there are so many commemorative months in April, of course, as also leading up to commencement. So if there are any staff, faculty, or any academic deans that are talking to your faculty, if anybody has an idea for an event that would fall into a commemorative month or not, we are always here to make that a reality and collaborate to make that happen. But we are getting ready for Pride, HCC Pride Month, also looking to do some events around Mental Health Awareness Month with Doreen's team and our Human Services team. April is also an International Arab Heritage Month, and something that we're looking to do some programming there as well as we continue to expand out. Within the programming, we are looking to host a virtual Pride conference that HCC in the past has executed in person. So currently working with Professor Eric Addison to start the foundation, but always looking for collaboration on that as well. And we'll be reaching out to different partners partners. But part of the Pride Conference that we'll be looking to do is having different tracks, and one track will be specifically focused on faculty training on creating a more inclusive classroom for our LGBTQ students. In addition to that, we are working on a student leadership conference for our students and also students in our surrounding areas. Shout out to Angela for taking lead on that. And then another exciting thing coming out of Student Life and Leadership Tunes is our second annual virtual talent show. So last year when we went remote, Jave Hall and our team took lead on creating a virtual talent show, and it was amazing. So hopefully you all saw that last year. If not,
No comment.
I'm here. I thought it was just me.
No, it's not just you. Why don't you go ahead and hopefully we'll be okay. Now we're not hearing you.
You're on mute, Veronica.
Go ahead, Veronica.
Willie, can you unmute her?
Okay,
Please?
there we
Okay.
go. I can't unmute myself. Perfect. WebEx and my computer don't like each other, so I was scared it was just me and the revolting happening, but I'm back. So we are hosting our virtual talent show with our students, which was a lot of fun last year. I think we had about 10 to 15 students share their talents. I'm looking forward to doing that again. And another reminder for faculty, we do have the academic collaboration grant within Student Life and Leadership. So if you want to make anything happen within your classroom and there's a financial cost to it that maybe your area is not able to help you out with, we are here to help out with that. So shout out to Lori Rigodana, who brought in a fantastic artist as part of Women History Month, and Jeremiah Typin, who's always bringing in great artists to talk to their students. And Professor Gallo, we have a lot of usual faculty members who reach out, but we're open to always more. A few things we will be launching in the coming days or coming weeks. Not on my watch, a video campaign. This was an idea actually Angela had based off of Dr. Reber's email that came out a few weeks ago showing support for our Asian community, and really just an overall idea of that this racism, this bigotry, all of that is not going to happen on our watch. So Dr. Reber taped his video. We'll be putting that out, and hopefully we can get it to be a campus-wide effort where a lot of us come out and really let it know that not on my watch will this happen, and this does not happen at Hudson County Community College. Our Diversity, Equity, Inclusion Student Passport Program led Amala Ogburn, Natalia Vasquez-Botkin, and I messed up your name too, I'm sorry, Jave Hall, Diana Galvez, and myself. We have about 15 students who are still in the program. We started with about 30. We are allowing the students to continue to get the credit, but we're looking to finish out 15 for the semester. So at this time, in the past month, these students have received over 10 hours of diversity, equity, inclusion training, everything from our orientation session, our core workshops around unconscious bias, privilege, and microaggressions, and multiple unpacking opportunities to really speak about experiences, misconceptions, unconscious bias that we all deal with, and really speaking it out in a safe space. So we are really, really excited and proud of the program. Couldn't do it without all the lead navigators, and we have really amazing students that are travelers through the program as well. Looking forward to continue this program every semester and continue to build our students that are culturally competent and continue to say not on my watch as well. Our speaker series continues this week with Dr. Katie Coleman, former NASA astronaut. We're working with the STEM program and the STEM division to make sure that we're utilizing that event to also spotlight our STEM program, which has amazing outcomes. Our students are amazing and do great things through the STEM Club and beyond. Our speaker after that will be Chef L. Scott Simone with our culinary program. So once again, an opportunity to showcase our students, but also showcase fantastic speakers. I'll be touching base with our speaker series committee this week to build out and look how we will be finishing out the semester. Our student center is open. We have been open, but we're like semi-officially more open now. We have staffing in the student center that emulates the hours of the library. So on nights and weekends, we have student staff in there to offer a smiley face as students enter our campus's living room, as we like to call it. And also another shout out to PTK for all the amazing awards that you are receiving at your regional conference or national conference this weekend, but also another shout out to our Student Government Association. We have a fantastic group of leaders in our SGA that are working on projects across the campus and committees across the campus. And more recently, we brought together SGAs from across all New Jersey community colleges. This was an amazing meeting, happened about 2 weeks ago, where we had 60 students and advisors from the SGAs across the state. And we're continuing this meeting to talk about different collaborative efforts, talking about an Earth Day where across the state we have SGAs out there doing community service, and also programming to continue to help train faculty on better meeting student needs. And commencement will be coming, information about commencement will be coming out soon. I'll save that for next month. I made it through without getting cut off. Awesome.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you for your
Veronica.
time.
Lots of good stuff there.
Yeah.
Nakia? Willie, can you unmute her, please?
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. I just want to take the opportunity to recognize Professor Cantor. I am really like heartbroken and shocked to even hear of her passing. She was my professor when I started here at Hudson. She was my philosophy professor. And I speak about a moment that I share in her class a lot to share, like, with other people. And I would like to share it with you. So in her class, she asked the entire class, is it fair for us to have to deal with intolerable people? And the whole class basically replied with no, like was quick to say no. And I actually took a moment to think about it. And I said, to the class, well, whether we know it or not, our behaviors or our attitudes can be intolerable to other people as well without us even knowing. I said, I think the most important part is for us to, even if these people seem intolerable to us or we can't handle their behavior, the most important part is just to respect them. And Professor Cantor was like, exactly. So I would just like to leave that part of her legacy with you all, that, we sometimes people may be hard to deal with, but respecting their well-being and their life is what's most important. So with that being said, I would like to say rest easy, Professor Cantor, and thank you for that lesson.
Thank you so much, Nakia. Other questions or comments? Others?
So far, no one else just yet.
Go right ahead. Cynthia Wilson. Willie, can you unmute Cynthia
Yeah,
Wilson?
he did.
Okay.
He did. I wanted to actually thank everyone and for this town hall. I've been with the university just over 2 years, and this is actually the first time that I have come to the town hall and made it an absolute purpose to come to it. I am part-time faculty, I'm part-time staff, so most of my work is off campus. And I only come when I need to turn in information or get my ID redone because I look much better now than I did then. But I just wanted to actually thank everyone who provided a report or comment, especially that last dedication to the professor. That was heartfelt. And I just want to thank everyone for this opportunity to attend. Thank you all.
Thank you, Cynthia. Really appreciate it. Others? Any questions about a lot of the information we've provided regarding returning and fall planning? Looks like Veronica has raised her hand again.
Hello. Not a question on either of those, but about the strategic plan. I know that's coming up. I don't know if there's a timeline in mind, I do definitely want to be involved, so I need to take some things off my plate before I pre-planning.
Sure. Well, I'll just share. That's a really timely question and comment because several of us met this morning with Dr. Jim Davey, who's our consultant to lead us through the strategic planning process, and you will be hearing about upcoming open forums, SOAR sessions, strengths, opportunities. Help me, I'm trying to remember it.
Aspirations and
And
results.
results. So anyway, there's going to be wide scale engagement across the college and with community members. This will provide input that will also sort of rest upon the foundation of work that's already been done, the academic master plan, the student success action plan, PAC Day goals, and our new mission, vision, and value statements. So this is going to be moving forward throughout the rest of the spring semester, culminating, we hope, in the summer and a newly approved plan by August. That's the goal. Heather, is there anything you would add to that?
No, I think that covers it. Just everyone keep an eye out for forthcoming communication with additional details about being involved.
Chris, if I may, there was a question in the Q&A about Evergreen Status, if I can.
Okay, go right ahead.
So as you know, we've had over the last couple of weeks, we've had open forum sessions for Evergreen consultants. We've had focus groups. We've just finished a faculty focus group last week, which I think went very well. I think Michael would agree. So at this point, they are supposed to be sending out the job assessment tool surveys. I know we ran into a technical technical issue because the emails have been being blocked. So I've worked with Trisha's team to make sure that they're unblocked and they're whitelisted. I think that's the official term. So that's really the next step. So I'm getting an update from them in terms of making sure that everyone gets that job assessment tool survey to complete. And that's where we are right now. So if you have any other specific questions, I'm happy to address those.
Thank you, Anna.
There's also a question in the chat about the return to campus and children who are still remote learning.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think the answer is that if you're currently unable to return to campus because you are homeschooling small children, that accommodation that you have with your supervisor stays, I would assume, until the schools go back. I don't know if they will go back before June, but I certainly expect, again, if all proceeds as everyone expects, that schools will be back in the fall. So just continue to communicate with your supervisor, and that's my advice for now. Hopefully that answers the question.
Thank you, Lisa. Other questions or comments? Anything we can answer or anything you would like to share with our community? I know it's a large group, but we're all nice people. We really are. Anybody else? Well, I know this has been a long meeting, and I think they're going to continue to be long because so much is happening. To the extent possible, if we can all plan on 90 minutes for these, we're actually finishing today at 75, even though I think it feels like it's been longer than that. But we absolutely want to make sure we answer any questions and entertain any comments in these meetings. So I'm going to just ask once more, is there anyone else who would like to speak or send us a chat before we close? Well, let me just take this opportunity to say again, thank you, each and every one of you, for the wonderful work you're doing, the selfless, caring, heroic work, and let's stay together. And I think we can see some light at the end of the tunnel. Thank you all. Have a great rest of the day. Take care.